Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome back to our playthrough of APBA Golf. As the name suggests, this is a golf simulator from APBA Games, and this is a golf simulator. And you're wondering what I mean by welcome back to our playthrough. We started a playthrough earlier this month, taking Tiger Woods out at DC Metro for a round of golf. Mostly to get a feel for how everything's going to fit on the channel. But, the first things first, let's go ahead and meet Tiger Woods now. Just as a quick reminder of how the cards look in APBA, you've got all of your various stats here, mainly 4 columns. Woods, irons, approach, and putting. To recall, we'll be rolling 2d6 and combining them together. So we'll have our red die as our 10s and our white as our 1s. So just to explain how that'll work, if that's our roll, we'd read that as a 34. Then we'd consult the column or the row for 34. Depending on whichever situation we're in, we'll read that column, and that'll be our result. Then we'll go to the appropriate chart, and it'll tell us what to do there. So with that all set up, it'll make more sense as we get into the game. Let's move over to our first hole just to check the shot. By the shot, of course, I am talking about the camera shot right now, although the time for considering the golf shot is soon at hand. So when we left off, we just finished a horrible 9th hole for Tiger Woods, which a very terrible day brought him back to even par after ending up in the water. But that's enough musing on that. Let's continue the back half of our round, and we'll start off with the 10th hole. Looking at our 10th hole at Metro DC, it's a par 3, 218 yards, and as you can probably see, we've got a gigantic water hazard that we've got to worry about trying to get over top of. We're still aiming at pin 1 and a calm wind, so our pin is right down here that we're looking for. Actually, we're looking at pin 5, which is clear on the other side. Thought we were looking at pin 5. So we're going to be off 10 yards to the left. 5, 10, so 215, 10 to the right. So 215, which means I'm probably looking at I'm looking at a low iron, actually a high iron probably. 215, and I average at a 3, I believe, which means I tend to hit my irons to the left. Best I can get is either a 2 or a 3 iron at 210. Well, the 3 iron at 210 or the 2 iron at 220 on my average. 220 actually wouldn't be a very bad shot either. That would put me 1 over shot. And I think the way I'm looking at this, right now is I'd rather put more club on this and try to recover a bad putt because I overshot the pin than undershoot the pin and end up in the drink instead. So I think I'm going to take the 2 iron on this one. Like I said, I'd rather have more club on this and be able to recover that with the putt on the green than potentially undershoot this and end up in the drink if I miss badly. I mean, that's a risk either way, but I'll feel better if my average will end up being a little bit overshot of the green, but I'd rather have that. So let's give this a roll and see what happens. So we're looking at the 2 iron. 53 is a 6. That's probably not a bad result, but let's see what happens here. So a 2 iron is a 6, which is going to be... Oh, I didn't mention where I was aiming. Actually, let me back that up then. So I have to use the center line as my origin. And since I tend to hit my irons to the left, I'm going to work this 5 to the right, which means I'm aiming about there. So I'm going to work the ball 5 right. Actually, can I work the ball off the tee? I think I can, but let me look. Work the ball, yep. So I can work at 5 right, and I think I'm going to. So let's re-roll the shot. Let's see, a 42 on an iron is a 3. That's beautiful. So on a 3, I get 220 left 5. and I was working right 5, so I'm going to end up 220, left 5. Let's see how much I worked the ball. So I was working at right 5, which is going to end up on the center line if I get my full working. Actually, I could take... So I'm left 5, which means I'm there, so I'm actually back to the center line, but I was working... Actually, let's take the left 5 on that and end up on the center line. So now I've got to roll to see how much I work the ball. Actually, that would be knock the 5 off to end up on the center line. Actually, sorry, I'm thinking this through. So I worked the ball. I got my average, which means I have an option here that I can either take the left 5 or that I can have it fly 5 less to the left or the right. And I think, so I'm working at 5 right. I am going to take the direction 5 left. Except I'm going to get some roll out of this too, which I forgot to account for. I'm also getting roll 15, so I'm going to end up 5, 10, 15. Let's see how much working the ball I got. So I put too much into this because I forgot about the roll. 23 on irons is an 18. So 18, I'm an A. Actually, I'm an A shot making, which means I'm 10. So I worked the ball 10 less than I intended to, so I'm going to end up actually out here in the rough. I believe that's how that works. Let me just double check on working the ball. And making prior adjustments for aiming in left, right. Then use the, it's the B column, which is still, so it's a B column, which is still minus 10 anyway. So we worked at 10 less, which means we're ending up in the rough. So for our second shot, we do have a rough lie that we're worrying about. So that was a 220. We took the left 5 and roll 15. So actually, if we were at 220, 5, 10, 15, yep. So we ended up in the rough a little bit. Let's see what our lie is in the rough. Got intermediate rough. That's a 61, which means we got a normal shot from the rough. Okay. So we get a thick intermediate rough, normal shot from the rough, okay? It's not a buried lie. Oh, so it's just a normal shot from the rough. I think what we're going to do here is we are 5, 10, 15, 20 yards away. So we're going to call out, we're going to hit an approach shot for 20 yards as our target. Let's not drop our die, Phoenix. So I'm going to go to my approach chart for 20, hitting from the rough. So I'm looking at an approach. 66 is probably good on, oh boy. Actually, 66 is a 36 coming out of the rough. I'm going to end up 3 feet away, so that's actually a really good shot. Now we'll roll for a putt and see if we can save par. So we're 3 feet away from the pin. No option to go for it here. 61 on a putt is an 18 from 3 feet away. That'll be in. So that's a 1 putt, and we're at even par. So that's the 10th hole done. Now let's move to the 11th. The 11th hole at DC Metro is a par 5, 507-yarder. Let me see if I can zoom in on the pin over here. That's as far in as I can get, but you can see the pin marked by the arrow token there. So we'll zoom it back out. I think we were at about there. Should work. All right, I think we do nothing cute here. I think we just grab the driver and grip it and rip it. Question is, where do I want to put this thing down? So the driver, and since I tend to hit my woods to the right, I'm going to aim a little bit to the left. So a 280, let's aim to put this about, let's aim this about 10 left. This way I can end up with potentially on with a good angle where I can aim for the pin. Let's see what happens on our drive. .35 on a wood is a 2. That's actually my average, which means I can take, actually no, that's not my average. That's a 3. My average is a 2. Actually, yes, I did hit my average. 35 with a wood is a 2, so that is my average, which means I can take 10 less on that right, and I think I will. So I'm going to go 280, right 10, which will bring me back to the center line, and roll 30. So I'm actually going to end up at 280. I'm going to end up at 310. So 280, right 10, roll 30. Couldn't have asked for a much better shot than that. So now, looking at my next shot, I am, let's see, 175, but I'm at 165 there. 75, 80, so, okay. Let me back up here. 165, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 200, 205, 210. 210 and right 5. So I have to go for the center line. But at a 210, we had this dilemma earlier, but this time I think I'm going to be reaching for my 3-iron. Am I going to reach for my 3-iron? Yes, I am. So that was a 2 on the result of the driver shot. So now I want my 3-iron. Let's see what I roll here. Actually, let me bring that in, so I ended up right there. I'm basically aiming for the center of the green. I roll a 51 on my 3-iron shot. 51 is my average once again. This time my average with the 2-iron, actually with the 3-iron, is 210 left 5 with roll 10. That's not a terrible shot. So I'm going to knock the 5 yards off the carry for that shot. So I'm going to end up dead center, but I have roll 10. So I'm actually ending up 510. I'm actually ending up just off the green. I'm actually ending up just on the green. So I'm a diagonal and a straightaway away, which I believe it was, I'm trying to remember, diagonal and a straightaway is 35 minus the sum of 2 dice. So 35 minus, so 25 feet away. That's actually a beautiful shot. And now I'm putting for eagle. We're 25 feet away. I'm going for it. I'm going for an eagle. Let's see what we can do with this. So we're 25 feet away and going for it. 55 is a 7, 25 feet away, going for it. Wow, that is actually in. Tiger Woods has made an eagle on that. So that's 2 under that's 2 under on the day so far and on the entire round. So that was a very nice putt. We handled that par 11 very well. Or that not par 11. We handled the 11th hole very well. We handled that par 5 easily. But let's move into the 12th hole and we'll move in for the flyover. We've got a 415-yard par 4 we're looking at for the 12th hole. We'll zoom in on the pin. So you guys can see, once again, it's marked by the arrow. There's the fifth. There's pin 5 that we're aiming at in this round. We'll come back out and we'll see on the flyover that we've got a very curvy hole. But once again, For purposes of this playthrough, we're pretending that Sir Isaac Newton is some crazy hack and that the ball curves in midair. Just so you don't wonder why I'm ignoring curves on these holes. So once again, I think we just grab the driver and grip it and rip it. So we've got some momentum here, which means if we're using the advanced rules, I believe the momentum means we can automatically have a shot be our average, which I don't think we want that right now. I'm just looking here. A number of times following a birdie or better. Okay, so we can use that twice, and we can use that after making an eagle here, which I think we actually will use that to automatically get for our first shot. We're going to use a momentum point to automatically hit his average on this hole. So with a driver, the average is a 2, so that's going to be 280, right 15, roll 30. So that's going to be 280, right 15, roll 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So we're still on the fairway with that one. So our second shot is going to be calculating distance 5, 10, 15 back. So we're at 305, which means we're hitting. So 305, 400 is 95, 100, 105, 10. So we actually can aim for the pin, and we will. So we will aim for the pin. We've got to hit one. What did we say? I think we were like 5, 10, 15 back. So 95, 100, 100, 105, 110, 150, actually 110. 110, I think we want something weak in that case. 110 on an average of 3. I think if we hit sand wedge knockdown, that's probably our best bet. Which is going to give me a little bit of left 5, and I'm going to... let me refresh my memory on how aiming for the pin works. And they move their origin as far left and right as they choose. So yeah, I think we're just going to aim right for the pin, which means we can use the getting the appropriate off-center distance, C8. Okay. Calculate left, right yardage from the blue origin line. So we'll be aiming at we'll be using the center line, it looks like, as the origin line here, but we are aiming for the pin. So I'm going to hit sand wedge knockdown. That's what I'm going for here. That's a 21, which is a 4. So 105, right 5, roll -5. So we're going to roll 5 less. So 105 is bringing me, so for here, 90, 95, 100, 105. Left 5, roll -5. So we're just off the green right there. Okay, let me just calculate the shot there. That was a 4. So 105, right 5, roll -5. So we ended up right there. We're a diagonal and a straightaway away. So 35 minus 2 dice. We're 31 feet away. So now we're on the green, putting for a birdie. Let's go for it again. That worked for us so well last time. 31 foot, and we're going. 26 on a putt is an 18. We left it 4 feet away. Putting for a 4-footer to save par. 45 is a 17. 4-footer to save par. That will be in. So we'll 2-putt it. We'll save par and stay at 2 under. And with that, we'll get ready for the 13th hole. We've got a short and sweet par 3 187 yarder for this one. Pin 5 is 10 yards to the left of the green, or 10 yards left of the center line at, what did we say, 150? Where's my pin? 560, 570, 580, 590. So 190 and 10 left, which means I'm looking at an iron most likely. I hit my irons at a 3 average. I could hit a 5-iron normal, and I think that's what I'm going to reach for. So 5-iron here. The question is, do I want to hit it knockdown or normal? I think... Actually, I just had a thought. I wonder if I hit this knockdown, because I've got to remember that roll's a thing I need to take into account. So yeah, I think I'm going to hit a 5-iron... I think I'm going to hit a 5-iron knockdown. I think we're going to do that. So let's see what happens here. Do I need to work the ball at all? I don't think so, because I tend to hit my irons to the left as it is. So let's go. Let's just hit it normal without any kind of working the ball. That's a 55 on an iron shot. That's a 3. So I think that's my average, which I hit a 5-iron. So I hit a 5-iron knockdown, which means I get my average 185. I'll take the left 5 and the roll 5. So I'm going to end up 150, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85. Left 5, roll 5. So I'm going to end up here, which is 1 straight away from the pin. So 15 minus 2 dice. That's 5 feet away. So that was a 3, which means I'm going to end up 185. Left 5, roll 5, and I end up 5 feet away. And nothing cute here, please. We're just going to go straight. We're just going to be putting for birdie. There's no option to go for it. So 5-footer for birdie. This should be a, well, I say it should be a fairly easy putt, but there's plenty of ways we can botch this one. 51 on a putt is a 9. Fortunately, that is not one of them. That will be in. So we'll 1-putt the green, minus 1 to drop to 3 under on our round. That's it for the 13th hole. Now let's move to the 14th. Got a par 4, 454-yard hole here. I'll zoom in on our pin, which is 10 yards to the right of the center line here. We've got some sand traps around the green. A pretty long fairway, actually. I think here, we'll zoom out. But I think here we just grab the driver and grip it and rip it. I tend to hit my woods right, so I'd like to have this impact the ground right about right 15. So if I hit my irons to the right, I'm going to aim left a little bit. So I'm going to aim about there. Actually, that is going to have me, I think, working the ball 15 left. No, we're gonna aim 15 left. to account for the likely roll or the likely average flight I'm going to get. So let's give our driver a roll and see what happens. That's a 14, which on woods is a 12. That's probably a problem. So a 12 with the driver is 265, right 35. It's a good thing I aimed right then. So we're going to end up 265. So we're ending up 265. What did we say? Right 35. Yikes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So we're going to end up in the rough with 12, 265, roll 35, roll 30. So we're getting... So we're only going to get half of that because we're going to land in the rough. So roll 15. 5, 10, 15. So we're ending up there. Right, moving back to the center line. So that's where we're at. 5, 10, 15 back, 5. So we're at the 275. Ow. 5, 30, 55, 80, 105, 130, 155, 60, 165, 170, 175, and right 10. Obviously, I can't go for the pin, so I'm 170 away, which at a 170, what am I looking at there? I'd be looking at a... Actually, I've got a count for coming out of the rough, too. That could be... My average iron is a 3. I could hit a 6-iron knockdown. So what did I say I'm at? I think 175 is what I came to, right? I have 10, 15, back 5, 5. So 5, 30, 55, 155, 60, 165, 70, 175, and right 10. So 175 with an average of 3 coming out of the rough. Yikes. I'm looking at the rough. I don't think I want to hit a 5-iron even on a knockdown. I'm at 175. I'll hit a 6-iron normal. Let's hit a 6-iron normal and see what happens there. Actually, I probably want to work the ball here as well, since I am short-sighted. I'm going to work it... Let's work it... 5, let's work it 10 left. .64 with an iron. 64 is actually my average, a 3. So I hit a 6-iron normal, which will be 175, right 10. I can choose to make that a little bit less. So 175 is going to end up being 5, 1, 25, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. Right 5, I'm going to knock... Actually, that could be, so... Actually, 170... 175 that was. Right 10. And this is going to be roll 5. So 170, right 10. Which I am going to take that and roll 5. Now let's see if I work the ball as much as I intended to. So I'm going to use the B column coming out of the rough. 52 is a 15. Uh-oh. 2 is a 15. I worked a 10 more than I wanted to. So I'm going to end up in the rough right there. That's unfortunate, but I can hit an approach shot. I'm going to go 5-10. Looks like I'm going to go 20 yards on my approach. Actually, yes. 20 yards on an approach. Let's see what happens here. So 20 coming out of the rough. Actually, I got to check for my lie in the rough. 36 is a normal shot from the fairway, so I get a good lie. So I'm hitting an approach 20 once again. Once I find the approach, there we are, approach 20 from the fairway. 65 is a 4. I'll end up 6 feet away. Now we're putting to try to save par from 6 feet away. That's a 65. Putting is a 20 from 6 feet away. That will be in to save par. Nicely done. So I'm even and 3 under on the day. That's it for the 14th hole. Now let's move to the 15th. Another fairly long par 4 awaits us at a 439-yarder. We've got some sand traps on the fairway and then a few around the green. We'll zoom in on the pin, which is 15 yards to the right of the center line at the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 of the 435 mark. So we'll zoom in. That's our pin that we're aiming at today. Or that we're aiming at on this hole. So we're all set there. I think we just grab the driver once again and grip it and rip it. Knowing that I like to hit my drive shots to the right, I'm going to aim. I want the ball to hit the ground about there, I think, 10 yards to the left. Because I know they like to fly right on me. That's a 61 with the wood is a 4. So that'll be 265. Right 15 and roll 25. So 265 is going to put me there. Right 15, 5, 10, 15. Which means I'll get my full roll of 25 on this one. So 61 was a 4. 265, right 15, roll 25. So I'm going to end up at the 290 mark, just shy of 300. So I'm going to end up right there. And that ended up with me being on the opposite side of the pin, so now I can aim for the pin on my second shot. I don't lose anything by moving back. So let me bring my flag down here. So 5 brings you back to the center line. 5, 10, 110, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 135, and I'm going to go left 15. So I'm going to aim directly for the pin. 135 about there. And what do I hit 135? I'm looking at an iron most likely. 135, and I tend to hit my irons to the left. So I think I'm going to hit a pitching wedge on a knockdown. Let's do that. So pitching wedge, knockdown using an iron. Let's see what happens here. That's a 16 with an iron. That's a 13. That's probably a disastrous shot. Pitching wedge, I hit it knockdown with a 13. That's going to be 140, so I'm going to overshoot a little bit. 140. So I'm going to end up going 5, 10, 110, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Actually, I got to remember, wait, I was hitting that knockdown, so a 13 is 140. So actually I might be fine here. So that brings me back to the center line. 5, 105, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So 140, I think that was exactly where I wanted to go. Wait, hold on, 130. I was looking at it out of the rough, so 140. So no, never mind, I was looking at the right place. 140, no, 135, because that was a 13. So no, I'm looking at the right place. 140, right 15, and no roll. I think I'm still going to end up on the green, though. I will end up at the right 15, so I'm going to end up at the center line, which means my center line, so I'm 3 straightaways away, which means I'm 45. I'm 45, I believe I'm 45 minus 2 dice, right? Yes, 45 minus 2 dice. So I'm going to end up... I'm going to end up 39 feet away. Which I'm putting for birdie, so from 30 feet away, I'm going to go for it. So we're putting for birdie and going for it from 39 feet away. So I ended up here. Give this a roll and see what happens. That's a 44. That's with 30 to 39 feet away. Going for it, and it's in. Tiger Woods makes a birdie, which means he'll drop to 4 under on this round. So that's it for hole 15. Now let's move to the 16th. Another par 5 waits for us here. A 579-yard par 5, by the way. Showing off pin 5, which is over here to 5 yards to the left of the green at the 55, 60, 65, 70. At the 570 mark, 5 yards to the left of the center line. Once again, we've got a pretty nasty dogleg that we need to account for, except we're not going to account for it because we're pretending for purposes of this playthrough Sir Isaac Newton didn't know what he was talking about. So with that in mind, this is another hole where I just grab the driver and let it rip. I'd like to put it down. Let's see, I tend to hit my drives to the right, so if I can put it down about... If I can have it hit the ground about there, that would be wonderful. But let's see what happens on Tiger's drive. That's a 61, which is a 4. That'll be 265, right 15, roll 25. Let's see where that's going to land. Right 15. So 265 is going to end up here. 5, 10, 15, roll 25. 5, 15, 25. Not a bad tee shot at all. So we're ending up right about there. You should be ending up at the 290 mark. Yep, perfect. Nice tee shot, and that puts us on the other side of the pin, so we could aim for the pin if we wanted to. Let me see what our yardage is. 5, we don't lose anything going back. 10, 110, 210, 250, 55, 60, 65, 70. Do I hit anything 270? I'm probably looking at... I don't think I can use the driver again, but I did bring a 3-wood with me. Unfortunately, I'm going to end up a little bit short, but I think I am going to use my 3-wood here for the first time. Question is, where do I want to put this? I'm not going to be able to aim for the pin. Actually, I'm probably not going to get enough power on this to get it to the pin. Let's try to put it down about... So 265, 10, 110, 210, 265. Let's see if we can put this thing down 15. Actually, no. I'm going to aim. Oh, crud. I think I'm just going to aim for the center line and hope that we get a decent carry on that. Actually, I wonder if I could use can I use a momentum point on... This might be a good shot if I can to use momentum, but I believe that's only on the next tee, so nope, we can't do that. So yeah, I think we're just aiming for the center line on this one with the 3-wood. Let me just find what result that was. That was a 4. Let's see what Tiger does with the 3-wood. I'm hoping I get the right direction on the carry, or on the direction. 45 with the wood is a 3. Oh, that's bad. 255, left 10. So 10, 110, 210, 250. I'm ending up right there. But I went to 255. Left 10, and I'm going to plunk down in the sand. That's a greenside sand trap, so I don't get any roll off of that. Now I've got to check for the lie in the greenside sand trap. Take a look at my lie. A 56, that's probably nothing bad. Hard spot, result plus 8 feet. Delightful. And I can't work the ball, but I don't think I want to, though. I think I just want to hit an approach shot here for 5, 10, 15 yards. I'm going to hit an approach 15, but I've got to hit it out of the sand. And I've got plus 8 feet carry. So approach 15 from the sand, and I'm plus 8 feet on whatever I land here. A 24 on an approach shot is a 3. That will be 4 plus 8 is 12 feet away because I've got to add in the plus 8 for the hard lie that we had. So we're 12 feet away. I think we're going to go for it. We're trying to... This is our 4th shot. We're trying to make a birdie on this one. So we're 12 feet away and we're going for it. 46 on a putt is a 26. That's a problem. The 26 we're going to leave it 1 foot away. So we've got a putt here to save par. A 1-footer to save par. 15 is a 7. Yeah, that'll be in. We're still at 4 under par on this hole. That's it for the 16th hole. Let's move to the 17th. A 437-yard par 4 waits for us here. We've got the pin to the left of the green, 5 yards to the left at the 405, 10, 15, 20, 30, 35. So 435 and 5 yards to the left of the green of the center line. We'll zoom in there. There's our pin all marked. So now we're looking at our first shot. Once again, say it with me, kids. We grab the driver and we grip it and rip it. Where do I want to put this shot? I think this one I want to go, since I know I hit to the right, I want to aim left a little bit. So I want to put it down about, oh, I forgot we got some deep rough here as well. Actually, it'll probably get stopped before we get to the... We should get stopped by intermediate rough before we get to the deep stuff. So I'm going to put it down about there. Let's see what happens here. No special notes to worry about. I'll back that up just a touch. And here's our first shot. That's a 52 with a wood is a 26. Uh-oh. 26 does not sound good. Yowza. 245, right 40. Gross. So 245 5, 10, 15, 25, 30, 35, 40. So that's where it impacts. And we get roll. So 52 is a 26. And we would normally get 25 roll, but we only get half of that. So we get 15 roll. Because we're in the rough. So 5, 10, 15. So we're ending up right there on a pretty bad tee shot. 5, 10, 15 back. 5, 10, 15 back. So we're at 255. Which is... So we're here for calculating the shot. 20, 120, 145, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. The only consolation I take here is that we can aim for the pin. We're looking at a 180, but we have to remember that we're coming out of the rough. We could hit a 5-iron knockdown. We do need to account for roll. So I think I'm going to club down a little bit. I'm going to hit a, actually 180. Okay, what did we say? 20, 120, 145, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. So 180. I think I am going to aim for the pin. And I'm going to hit a... I'm going to aim for the pin and I'm going to hit a... I'm going to hit a 5-iron knockdown. Let's see what happens on this. That's a 16 with an iron. That's a 13. That's another problematic shot. So 5-iron, 13 knockdown. Yikes. 195. So I overshot it a little bit, but I don't think too bad. So I was here, 20, 120, 145, 50, 55, 60, 65, 75, 80, 85, 90. Actually, I did way overshoot that. 195. Wait, I was hitting 5-iron knockdown. 195, left 25. 5, 10, 15, 25. Roll 10, but that's going to turn out to be only 5 because I'm landing in the rough. Great. Well, I'm not in the sand, which could have been worse. So I need to check for the lie in the rough. Looks like intermediate rough. 56. Hit a shot from the fairway, then roll under flyer. Oh, joy. So it looks like I want to hit approach. 15, 20, 25, 30. Looks like I'm going to hit a 35-yard approach. So I'm going to hit the shot, but then I've got to roll under flyer. I'm going to go back to approach 35. So 25 to 45 using out of the rough. 34 is a 4, which will be plus 5. So let's see what happens when we roll under. Let's see what happens when we roll under the flyer column on the rough. A 12 is clean contact, so we get the shot we wanted. So I'm going to end up there, which means since I'm a straightaway away, I'm 15 minus 2 dice. 6 feet away. Putting to try to save par. That's a 7-footer. We're going to go for it. A 41 on a putt is a 19 from what did we say, 6 feet away. Actually, there's no option to go for it. 41, I think we established, was a 19. That'll be in to save par. So we're still at 4 under on the day, and our last hole on the round. Another par 4 at 466 yards this time to finish out the round. Pin 5 is at the... I'll zoom in on that so we can calculate that out. Pin 5 is 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. At 470, 5, 10, 15, 20 yards left of the origin line, of the center line. Fantastic. And we've got some notes that we need to account for here. Tee shots landing in the fairway, roll plus 20. Second shots are downhill and carry 10. And shots that land between the lake and the green roll 5 yards toward the water. Oh, that's delightful. We've also got some sand traps around the green that we need to account for. So, once again, grab the driver and grip it and rip it. I want to put this thing down. Let's see, knowing that I like to go right, let's try to put this thing down to the left a little bit. So I want to put it down about here if we can. So let's see what happens. That's a 16, which on a woods is a 12. Oh boy. 265. So we're there. Right 35, 5, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35. We're in the rough. And a 12 would give us roll 30, but we only get half that because we're in the rough. 5, 10, 15. So not a terrible shot because mostly because it keeps us away from the water right off the bat. But not a shot I'm completely happy with either. The only thing I like about it is that we've got a good angle to the pin, so we can aim for the pin. So we're there. But let me calculate my distance. Actually, first let's calculate the lie. That's a 23. We've actually got a normal shot from the fairway. We got a good lie on this one. So now we come to calculating the shot. So we're 5, 10, 15 back, 5, 10. So we're right at 275. 100, 50, 5, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95. 195, and I'm 25 left. So I could aim for the pin, which I think I will, but I need something at 195. Actually, do I want to aim or do I want to work the ball a little bit? I'm probably looking at an iron, which I could use I've got to remember, I've got a shot from the fairway on this one. So I think I'm going to use my 5 iron and hit it normal. Basically, what I'm counting on here, and I kind of want to work the ball a little bit so it doesn't roll so much toward the water. I'm going to work the ball 10 to the right. So the reason I'm doing that is I'm accounting for the shot that lands between the lake and the green is going to roll 5 toward the water. So I don't want to have that happen. So I'm aiming for the pin, but I'm working the ball 10 right, if that makes sense. And 11 is a 2 with my iron, so I hit a 5 iron normal. That'll be 200, which means I overshot a little bit. So I was here I was here, so 275, 375, that's 150, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 200. So I'm there. So 200, that was a 1. Which is, oh boy, actually I used a 5 iron, so that's actually a 210. So I'm 205, 210, and I'm in the drink. Even with left 5, yeah. That shot's going swimming. That's not what I wanted to see there at all. Alright, so this will be Tiger's 4th shot, but I've got to hit it from... So I plunked it into the water, which means I need to drop the ball. I believe that drops down... I believe that's going to drop down on the rough right about here. So we have to roll for the lie there. That's a 45. I don't think that's good on the rough lie. 45 is with the grass, so it's +5 carry. I think I want to hit an approach of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Let's hit an approach 30. All right, but we're coming out of the rough from this. So approach 30 coming out of the rough. That's a 34 on an approach shot is a 4. Coming out of the rough, we're 10 feet away. This will be Tiger's 5th shot. He'll be putting for bogey, and he's going to go for it. So we're 10 feet away. I think we're about there. And hopefully the last putt of the day. A 54 is a 31. 10 feet away going for it on a 31. We left it 4 feet away. This is his 6th shot. 4 feet away. This will be a double bogey putt. 4 feet away. As long as we don't roll above a 20. As long as we don't roll, actually even to a 29 is okay. A 46 is a 26. And yep, that'll be in for a double bogey. So we 3-putted to get to +2. Which means we'll finish at 2 under on the day. So that's it for this round of APBA Golf. We're not quite done yet, though, because we've got a couple deliveries that came in. So let's get these cracked open after I clean up. This first delivery from a Grey Rooster Sales, I've been looking at this off and on. And I'm wondering if I'm going to have to find a Vestal Virgin or something to sacrifice to the fish gods to get this thing open. But I was looking at it a little bit, and it looks like I've got a couple seams in here that I can probably use. So, let the cussing and swearing begin as I cut this thing open, hopefully without cutting myself in the process. And wonder why in the world he uses so much tape. Well, all right, we seem to be making headway on this one. I think we're at least inside of it. I'm going to put the knife down because I have a tendency to do nasty things with the knife to myself. Actually, I do also have a pair of scissors in here that hopefully just a little... Looks like a small little cut on that. Should be enough. Well, I was starting to free a box that looks like it's also been taped to High Holy Hell. And now I have freed the aforementioned Tape to High Holy Hell box. Ow! Okay, let's get underneath there a little bit more. Just making sure I didn't nick myself on the thumb drawing and didn't draw blood. But it does not look like I did that. Okay. Looks like we got that. We've got... Seriously? We've got craft paper, air pillows, and bubble. Just why? This pack made me cut this made me swear just as bad as when I unboxed Field Commander Rommel from a Gray Rooster last year. Thanks. Thanks for the nice little card plugging it. I'll have to take a look at the website. Maybe more stuff that's catching my eye there, but after quite the ordeal, we find that I've got the Warfighter World War II Z expansion for the Undead from Danverson Games. We see the box there. I'll have to add that to my pile of Warfighter stuff, which is going to need to get sorted, which the delivery from Amazon that just came in should give me a hand with that. So let's get this out of shot and get that in shot. Okay, so I didn't quite need to sacrifice a Vestal Virgin to open that package from a Gray Rooster sales. In comparison to that, though, I could probably open this box from Amazon in my sleep, but I'm not exactly going to try because I don't feel like being nominated for a Darwin Award today. So let's crack this open and see what I've got in here. As I mentioned, this is a delivery that should help with organizing not just my Warfighter stuff, but maybe some of my other sports game stuff as well. Let's see what we've got in here. So first thing that we see is more canned air, which will get cut open. But more importantly, I've got two more of these Pyule cases that I've used in the past for organizing like my Marvel Champions and my Arkham Horror stuff. So I might be able to use those leverage those for Warfighter as well. I'm actually going to pull one of them open so I can show you the inside, mostly because of the other delivery I've got in here. So let me get this first one open. So we'll bring that box out of shot for a second so I can show you the inside of this case. I really like these Pyule cases. You can see we've got short dividers in here. We've got longer dividers in here to make 3 different compartments. And we've even got a shoulder strap, which I almost never use. But we can look at our other delivery, which we've also got 200 of these horizontal trading card dividers, which I'm probably going to use with my Warfighter stuff to help me organize that. But let me take a look in here. That should close nicely from the looks of it. So cool. I've got two sets of 100 of those. And I've got the other Pyule case here off shot. But that will do it for this playthrough of APBA Golf. Tomorrow we're probably going to do Mystical Munchies with the last recipe out of the Final Fantasy XIV Ultimate Cookbook as we make lemonade. As for the games, I'm not sure what all we're going to play on the channel tomorrow. But I'm thinking I'm going to have at least one gameplay on the channel. Stay tuned for what it's going to be. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.